a couple of days out from the fight, feeling great, ready to go. All the training's done. There's nothing left to do but the fight, and that's what we're looking forward to. Let's do it. Let's get it.
So training-wise, it's a rematch with Kaleb. Did you do anything specifically training-wise for your rematch with Kaleb?
We did a lot of work, but I never focused specifically on my opponent. I measure his strengths and his weaknesses. I try to understand his psychology, but I go into my training camp worried about myself and trying to become the most optimal get the most optimal performance, try to keep pushing myself to the next level. And really, that's what I've been focusing myself for in this training camp, is pushing myself to a championship level. That's why I was lucky enough to have Lorenzo and Joey come out here to help push me. So when these champions, world-class champions, are having trouble pushing you, you know that you've been able to push yourself to new limits. And I plan on coming out there. I'm not going to worry about my cardio or my strength or I'm not going to count my straws or anything. I'm just going to go out there and fight and do anything that comes to my mind, everything that I could think of in my mind. I'm going to do it in the fight like a champion.
So it's interesting. You just said that you focus on yourself. One of the questions I wanted to ask you was, did you, in preparation for this fight with Kaleb, did you look at your last fight with him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, ever since I watched that fight again the first time I watched that fight, I was a little disappointed with myself because there's so many opportunities that I missed. I could have done so much more damage. I could have landed so much more. I could have done so much more. And at the time, I said at those time I was fighting to put a paycheck in my pocket, and it seemed like a good idea, doing what I do best and what I love to do to get money in my pocket. But so I just didn't have that drive to push myself to the limit. I'm like, hey, I'm hitting the guy, I'm coasting, he can't hit me, I'm just chilling. Why push myself? And I just sit back and coast. You see that happen all the time. My first fight, my fight with Palomino, my fight against Kaleb. Once I get to that point where I'm cruising, I'm just kind of sit back. There's no reason for me in my mind to get hurt because I got the money in my pocket. It's an easy win, easy fight. But this fight's gonna be a little bit different because I'm not fighting just to put money in my pocket. This is a legacy fight, it's a fight. This is for the future. This is for the work that we're trying to do, so I can work more, so I can fight. But this is for all the cookies, for everything. And there's a lot of passion, a lot of work that's going behind this training. And they have a lot of people backing me up. And it's a huge burden that I'm carrying into the ring. And I'm going to go on there, I'm going to drop it right on Kaleb's head.
In the past, we've seen you prepare for fights, but it seems to me like this fight is a different fight for you. How important is this fight to your legacy, Elvin?
Well, this is for the future. I've been saying since my training camp started, we have a lot of plans, a lot of work that we want to do, and it's going to be real hard for me to do this work without beating Kaleb. Beating him is giving me. I'm fighting for my right to put more work into the fighting, put more work into the training camp, more work into my community. So this is, like I said, this is not only a legacy fight, but this is for everything. This is for work. This is for fighting. This is for my family, for the community. There's a lot riding on this, a huge burden.
Looking back, you said that you were not pleased with your performance the last time you fought Kaleb. What would you have done differently?
I wasn't happy because I didn't really take advantage of a lot of situations. There was so many situations I could have taken advantage, and I could have landed way more. And that's something that I showed in my fight. Coming off of that fight with Brad Kelly, I landed way more on that fight because I didn't waste opportunities. And it's still looking at that fight, there was still a lot of opportunities with Brad Kelly. I could have landed more, even more. So I've been trying to challenge myself to just push, so I can come out there like a champion. And it's undeniable.
How are you a different fighter mentally than when you first fought Kaleb?
Oh, same thing. Like when I first fought Kaleb, I was fighting to put money in my pocket. With what I love to do. I love fighting. It comes easy to me. And I was like, hey, this is the opportunity to make money doing what I like to do. And I'm fighting for I needed that fight. It was a do or die fight for me. Like, I need this fight because if I want to keep doing this work that I love, I have to beat Kaleb. So when I fought Kaleb, it was a do or die fight for me to win. But it was all about getting paid, you know. It had nothing to do with pride or legacy or the work that I'm trying to do, or I didn't need the fight. I don't need to fight. I could just do what I do. I still don't need to fight. But now, for me to do the work that I need, the work that we're trying to do here, I need to fight. I need to win. I need to be a champion. I need to prove myself. And the perfect opportunity and all the opportunities that we missed out on last time, there's not going to be any regrets this time. That's why there's not going to be any regrets. If I get knocked out, I'm not going to have any regrets. I'm going to do everything in my abilities. I'm going to pour my heart out there, and that's why I'm going to be the champion.
You're being a champion, you know, so much of the fight is mental. Any nerves on your part, because it is a title fight, plus you were also fighting in hostile territory. It's not your hometown, so to speak.
Yeah, but I don't get nervous because, like, it's a rematch fight. My opponent lost his last opponent. He really wants to get that rematch back. It's a hometown guy. I'm going in from Puerto Rico, coming in the hometown crowd, and, like, you know, it sounds bad, but for me, I'm a bandito. That's perfect. That's what I do. It's not the first time that I've done it. It's not gonna be the last time that I go all the way to somebody else's house and take what's mine. Because it doesn't matter if it's at Kaleb's house, if it's in Puerto Rico, if it's in England, and freaking, it doesn't matter where it is, in New York, I'm gonna be the champion. I have to be able to beat a hungry Kaleb Harris who wants to win in his hometown. To beat me, no problem. That's what a champion does. So that's what we're gonna go do. I actually love it. It's perfect.
Why are you a better fighter than Kaleb?
Why am I better? Well, the reason I'm better than him is I have a better style. It's more suited for bare knuckle. My timing is unique. I have a unique style that nobody could match. No matter how many sparring partners you get to try to do like a version of me, it's never gonna be the same. The fight IQ is gonna be the same. I don't discount Kaleb being a champion in the future, just not today. Just not on Saturday, not on 29th.
So, final question: does it matter then to you, Elvin, who they put in front of you?
It doesn't matter who they put in front of me because I love fighting. Everybody who knows me, who's trained with me, who's seen me fight, knows that I love this. This is what I do. And I do it because I love it, and this is what God put me on earth to do. And I don't care who they put in front of me. It would be awesome to have some maybe some big rematches in the future. And there's a lot of big fights that potentially could be awesome main events. But more than anything, I would just want to stay busy as much as I can and fight as much as I have to fight till my fight is done, and then we're gonna move on to the next generation.
So before we go, what about the GOAT? What's the deal with the GOAT?
Well, when I first moved back to Puerto Rico, we wanted to do some farming, a little bit of farming. So we got a couple of chickens, a couple of ducks, and some goats. We started with 2 goats, and Macho, you know, he was a small goat. His parents weren't very big, so we really didn't really think he was gonna. Now he's like almost 300 pounds. He's huge. He's like, you know, he's one of the biggest goats I've ever seen. Most people, when they see him, are like, whoa, I never seen a goat that big. And he's been living with us since he was a kid. I've been playing with him since he was a kid. We've been headbutting. Now he's the biggest one on everybody. All the other goats are scared of him. So I'm the only one that headbutts with him. So we you know, it's something that we've been doing since he was a kid, and we just stuck to it. And now it's just become like a daily exercise we do. I used to be like, man, my neck hurts doing it. I think when I fought Brad Kelly, I still had the marks on my forehead from headbutting. But I've gotten stronger doing it. He's been enjoying it. It's fun, something that we share together. Plus, it seems to be working. It's like a secret weapon.
What about plans for the future? You mentioned that this is not only a legacy fight for you, but you do have plans that you want to. Go ahead.
I had to fight my way back to Puerto Rico. Now I'm fighting to build my house. I'm fighting to build a jungle camp. I'm fighting to build a place for our community, so we can have the kids have a place where the kids can go and a safe place for them to train and feel at home that we used to have. We don't have that anymore. So we want to have a community gym. We want to have our jungle camp. We want to have the house. There's a couple projects that we have in mind for our community. We want to be an asset to our community. So there's a lot of things we have planned for ourselves and in partnership with other people. But the biggest thing is community gym and the jungle camp for the fighters. For everybody in boxing and MMA and Muay Thai, they all have their places where they can go and do these world-class training camps. But bare knuckle, there's nowhere to go. So we're trying to provide that place where all the best bare knuckle fighters have gotten together and share information, share ideas, spar against each other, see what works, see what doesn't work, and just something that's needed in the sport, and it's going to help evolve the sport. And it's a lot of work, but that's what we're fighting for. We want to work, So we're really looking forward to it, and we're going to make it a reality, just one step at a time, just like we've been doing. Just moving back to Puerto Rico and making the house and making the gym, even if we 1 inch, half an inch, quarter inch at a time, we get there one way or the other. We just don't give up. Gotta have that drive to be a champion, and we're ready. We're ready for a title fight now.
Elvin, before we go today, is there anything else you want to add, sir?
Guys, don't miss the fight. It's the first bare knuckle fight of the year. We're gonna start out with a banger. It's gonna be great. Me against Kaleb Harris, main event. Make sure you catch me at Bare Knuckle News when nobody beats us to the punch.